Hi everybody. I decided to try out a new software recording my screen as well as my face too. So it gives benefit of both. So you can see what I'm going to be looking at, specifically reading off of, and also you could get a little bit of a personal touch to it with me being there. So anyways, going here, I just watched Joshua's post. Thank you, Joshua. Actually, his last video here actually answered my question that I posted yesterday, and I actually wasn't even aware of that. Wasn't even cognizant of how a person's typing speed can affect their outcome regarding the tests. So that was a very good point. Thank you, Josh. Well said. And there was also a couple other points that Joshua brought up that I agreed with readily. Students taking tests, and as soon as they pass it, they're done learning English. They use it as an extrinsic measure. This happens often in Japan, and I've said this in other posts, where they're using the Aiken test, which is a standardized English test in Japan, as to get into a good high school. A lot of high schools are private here. There are some public schools, but private schools are very popular here, and you need to actually apply to go to a high school here. They have admissions. So yeah, Aiken test is super popular in Japan, and it's in the situation I'm in. There's too much focus on testing and trying to pass the test, and not enough focus on, well, what are the actual objectives of our classes in learning English? Is it just to pass this test? And if it is, then I feel like we're missing the boat on a lot of things, because unfortunately the Aiken test does not evaluate speaking very well, and too much. And I'll get back to that point a little bit later in my post. Hopefully I can remember. The other point that Josh said regarding, and I agreed, instead of just focusing on the test itself, like he was talking about the IELTS and just teaching English by itself, where I think it would be very beneficial to have like an immersion program where they're learning different subjects, learning interesting subjects. It could be like if a student's interested in science or history, or a variety of different other subjects that is in English. And I think that would naturally benefit students, and they could pick up English better than just focusing on an English course that's specific to just trying to pass an exam, which could be actually somewhat quite dry. Sorry, just taking a sip of my tea. I can't talk too long here. I have a class I have to go to at Naha Airport, so I have to be leaving soon. So anyways, going to the question. That's my recording. Going to the main question. So basically, as Josh mentioned and others have mentioned, this is what backwash is. It's the effect that tests have on teaching. I'm using the Kindle version of our textbook, just letting you guys know. Having said that, trying to convince a skeptic to improve. If I go back here, this is the question. Convince a skeptic that you could improve the backwash effect of a test that you know. So the test I'm going to be looking at is Aiken, and I'm going to be looking at specifically 2 points from our textbook. One is test the abilities whose development you want to encourage. Another one is, scroll down, sample widely and unpredictably. So the first one here is a huge one for me, because the Aiken test, it does have on the higher levels, it does have, why is it doing that? Stupid thing. Okay, I'm just going to ignore that. Oh my goodness. I don't know why it's doing that. It keeps, okay, so, I can't read, sorry, I'm having a little bit of difficulty here. Stupid program was, okay, where was it? There's sample input, use direct. I just lost myself. Sorry, give me uno momento. Okay, so here we go, back to this thing. So basically, the Aiken test doesn't test speaking very well, in my opinion. It does test it, and actually we just did Aiken testing, and the second part of the testing will be coming up in probably a couple of weeks, which is the interview portion for the higher levels. Unfortunately, what we're currently doing at our school is we generally focus on the oral aspect of our classes for prepping their tests. It's kind of like a last-minute rushed kind of thing. And this actually also ties into the second point, is sample widely and unpredictably. Actually, at our school, right? We're not doing this. We're going through rehearsed previous administered interviews, and the students just memorize answers, and it becomes very predictable. So if I were to try to increase the positive backwash effect for this test, what I would do is I would probably, for my classes, and this is before the written portion of the test even occurs, just in general in my classes, try to encourage oral debates. A lot of, especially the higher level Aiken, like Aiken Pre-1 or Aiken 2, they have questions that are very opinion-based, and it goes beyond just like, what kind of food do you like? It's not like that. It would be like, do you think children should have cell phones, and if so, why? Like that kind of thing. So I would try to do the first point, right? First point is test abilities whose development you want to encourage, and I would try to, maybe, if I could, develop, and it may not necessarily be in the form of a test, but debates or discussions in my class that may cover some of the topics that's on the test. That's testing speaking, the scale of speaking, discussion in the form of a discussion. Unfortunately, Japanese high school children are fairly shy, so this could pose a difficulty in doing this. To maybe offset that, I could try to make it in a form of a test, but that would be completely new for me. Achievement tests that are oral in nature, that would be a completely new process, which is possible. I could do that and try to create a marking rubric for that. But I think to be less formal about it, I could try to focus more on weekly discussions in the classroom that pertain to some of these issues that are on the oral portion of the test. For the most part, right now, we just look at like lexical items like vocabulary and reading comprehension. We don't. And then with this here, I would use sample widely and unpredictably. There it goes again. Stupid thing. Okay. For this, I would try to look at, well, what kind of questions are they asking for? on the oral exam, and not necessarily only choose topics that are from previously administered interviews. Choose other topics that readily come to mind that I think may be even applicable more to their age group. So it could be right, going back to the cell phone example. Well, that could be applicable because actually a lot of children these days, even teenagers, have cell phones. And well, is this topic, which actually is I think one of the writing topics for the Aiken 2. It's actually not in an interview itself, but it's similar in that regard. So I would take examples from previously administered tests, and I would practice with them. And I would practice with them, and I would also try to look at, well, what are the style of questions being used, and can I come up with my own questions that are not actually previously administered questions, but are similar in style. So, thank you. That is my discussion. Hopefully I wasn't too long. I believe that the backwash effect of the Aiken test, the negative backwash effect is the fact that there's a lack of oral communication, speaking component. When it comes to preparing for this test, it's overly focused on vocabulary and reading comprehension. So I think I can focus a little bit more on practicing speaking, looking at conversation topics in class to help improve this test's backwash effect, positive backwash effect at least, because I think that the speaking portion gets left out and forgotten until it's too late, until oh crap, we have the interview and we gotta practice the interview and we gotta memorize. I don't think that's a very good way about going about it, but a lot of people are doing that. So hopefully I can maybe try to change things in the future with this. Thank you so much. Josh, thank you for your posts. Very useful. I always enjoy listening to your posts. Thank you, Kelly, for you are the starter. And I look forward to anyone's comments or opinions or insights. Thank you very much. I'm going to stop it there.